Hello and welcome to this Man and Machine video. My name is Chris England. I'm a technical manager on the MFG side at Man and Machine. And today I'm going to be having a look at creating a brand new factory layout from scratch. Now, some of you may have used Factory in the past, or Factory Design Utilities rather, and some of you may be seeing this for the first time. So I thought it would be a good place to start, as a lot of you will have access to this tool through your PDMC already. That's the Product Manufacturing Collection. And so with the access and with being able to use it, there's a couple of things to sort of understand about it. So Factory Design Utilities rather is a plugin that plugs into AutoCAD, Inventor, and Navisworks. And it sort of creates a workflow, a synchronization workflow between the three products, and allows us to move between them quite easily and sync our model data between them, more importantly. Now, just a heads up, as far as AutoCAD's concerned, you're going to want to run it on either AutoCAD MEP, AutoCAD Architectural, or AutoCAD Mechanical, as I generally do. Aside from that, you can use the vanilla versions of those AutoCADs, but it should be one of those installed products to have the factory overlay on top of it. So to get started, I'm in Inventor. I like to start in Inventor as an Inventor user. It's generally where I prefer to start, but it can be done in AutoCAD. I wouldn't recommend starting in Navisworks. And I've created a new layout, and we can see that I'm currently in the layout. Now, the factory layout, for the most part, is an Inventor assembly environment. It does have all the factory tools and all the extra bolted on features that Factory enhances Inventor with, but there's no reason we couldn't use it like a traditional Inventor assembly as well. So you can still do your constraints, and we still have the normal assemble tab here. All right, so getting on. So to start my layout, in this case, I'm going to start laying out a shop floor. So I've got some DWG underlays that I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start by adding those into my Inventor layout. And I'm sorry, it popped up on the wrong screen. I'm going to go for my floor plans, and I'm going to start with my floor plan of my facility. So with the floor plan of this facility, this is an AutoCAD DWG at this stage that I've just copied in. And what I've gone and done is I've already gone and marked up, or at least in this scenario, my boss has marked up a layout where he would basically like me to start planning our CNC machine layout. So I'm going to go and add that overlay as well, or underlay. And that's my proposed layout there. And we can see that it comes in with some blocks, and I've got some names of the various machines that I want to put in. Now, I prefer to add and do my general laying out in AutoCAD. So I'm going to, at this stage, save my assembly and open up in AutoCAD. I have already opened up the AutoCAD version that I want, as I've got quite a few installed. And we can see that once it's synced, I can see those same DWG underlays that I placed in Inventor. Now, they are effectively just XREFs when we get to the AutoCAD side of things. So you can see that they're grayed out, and although I can select them, when I do, it selects it as an external reference. And from here, it's just a process of going to my asset library, and I'm going to be using some of the system assets today to do my laying out. So I'm going to start with my CNCs, and we can see that I've got my Duzan machines, the MX3000s, and I've got a couple of them to place over here. Okay, starting with my first, I'll place that out. Looks like I've misaligned it slightly, so we'll just use our AutoCAD Move tool and get that into place. And from there, I'm just going to copy with a base pointer, as it'll be easier, and pop my 3, or populate my other 2. I'm then going to do the Mazaks, the Integrex that I've got there. And I've already got those laid out for me, or at least the placement for them. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Copy with a base point and place them as I need. So those are all in. I've got some workbenches that I want to place. So these assembly benches, oops, clicked too many times. We'll go ahead and place one of those and move it into place once again. So you can see with the AutoCAD integration and our ability to use AutoCAD for laying out purposes, it's quite easy to quickly place a lot of assets. And this is where the benefit of factory design really comes in, is that laying out and using layouts, we can stick in AutoCAD in a 2D format, And you'll see in a bit when we go back to Inventor that it's obviously still linked to Inventor CAD models. The other side is the built-in library that we have available to us. So obviously these are all system assets, and in this case it's very standard Duzan MX3000, and we've got some Mazak Integrex 200s in there, and those are just out of the library as is. I'm going to go and place some operators in here. If I go and find them quickly, we've got them under general. I'll place a couple. I'll have my men on the bottom side. You can see that I'll move to place and just snap him on his counterpart there. So going from a, well, possibly no layout, I guess, in our for our factory floors, we can very quickly get a mocked up factory floor layout from a block plan or whatever we have available. I've obviously used a nice data set of a model, or at least it comes from a Revit model as my overall layout, and thus it's quite easy to envisage what we're doing. I have noted that I've obviously not taken into regard my structure, but we'll have a look at that in a second when we get to Inventor. So I've placed now all my assets, and I'm quite happy with that. So let's go have a look at what it looks like in the 3D. If I save and we go back to Inventor, we can see our model then populating, or at least our 2D floor plan that we've created in AutoCAD now populates with the 3D assets that are attached. And very quickly we start to get a layout, and we can see that actually my Revit model that I placed in beforehand, which was supposed to be a surprise, but surprise, it is now placed, or at least visible again. So we can see that I've also used a Revit structure in this case to actually be able to visualize what we're placing amongst, and it helps at this stage, as of course I planned for a few minor clashes. So this is where a tool like Navisworks might come into play, where we could then, and in this case I don't really need to sync to Navisworks, but we can then go and open up in Navisworks to go and do a clash detection or something to that effect if we're worried about the structure clashing with our items. We don't need to worry too much in this case. We can go and simply fix that up ourselves just by jumping back to AutoCAD. We can move in Inventor. There's nothing wrong with using Inventor for movement, or at least placing and laying out our components. But I tend to prefer to do it in AutoCAD as it's just that little bit simpler. Oh, it's still updating. And we can see that now, because the Revit structure was actually visible in this case, it is then, well, then we can actually see the structure in play. Right, so that doesn't seem to have worked. Let's quickly try and open up in AutoCAD again. It'll just take a few seconds as AutoCAD boots up in the background. As I accidentally clicked on the cross and closed that session. So we'll need to just wait for it to boot up again. And of course, we've got it on the other screen at this stage. 1 second while it just syncs my layout and updates everything. Sorry, jumping on back. Right, so there we go. We can see that it's come through with the model, and I didn't click the cross this time. So we're good to go. And I can now see my structure as well, which doesn't help too much from a 2D. It sort of overcomplicates things a little bit if you ask me. But nonetheless, I can certainly see where I've got clashing issues. So I can now go ahead and select the asset and simply move it on out of the way. I think we had another one on one of our machines over here. It looked a bit tight. I keep selecting the whole XREF, which I probably wanted to freeze or something to that effect, so I can move that over 150 that way, avoiding the clash. And this one's no good at all, so we'll move this one. Keep selecting everything instead of just the one block. So let's actually go ahead and freeze that layer. freeze it. Can't freeze it because I'm on the wrong one. Right. No joy here. Right. Let's go and freeze the 0 layer. Oh, all my blocks on the 0 layer. Scrap that. Just do it the good old-fashioned way and get it right. So there we go. I can move that out of the clashing area, and we can jump back to Inventor to check the result. Now, if you have a rather large facility or you have different zones or areas, we could make use of sub-assemblies, or at least sub-layouts, as we call them from a factory perspective, but ultimately they amount to a sub-assembly within, and we can control each little zone or area within that. But as you can see, quite quickly and easily, we get a very entry level still, but a starting point for our factory layout and a factory design. And this is how we can start building and populating our own facilities. Now, I guess the key message here is that you already have the tools. So if you are interested in looking into factory and starting to lay out your own floors with your Factory Design Utilities access, give us a shout at Man & Machine and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you for listening and watching. See you soon.